Hi, I'm Gia Mills, and I've been a celebrity makeup artist for the past 20 years. I'm also the founder of sweat-friendly cosmetics brand Skin and Motion, and I am fascinated by the power of makeup and the politics of beauty. On True Reflections, you get to peek behind the curtain and find out what your favourite celebrity really feels about their appearance when the glare of the media is upon them. Today, my guest is the sex and relationship expert on E4's Celebs Go Dating. She hosts the Luv Bites Podcast. She's a professor at California State where she teaches sexual communication. And she's here today to talk about how to sex up your look, not just for your partner, but for yourself. So please welcome to True Reflections, Dr. Tara.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much for coming on. Now, we know you for being the sex therapist on the breakout hit show, Celebs Go Dating. But I want to go back a little bit further. I want to know about your beauty journey and delve deeper into you. So tell me, first of all, just my favorite question, what makeup are you wearing today?
Ooh, I'm wearing a lot of NARS.
Okay.
Yeah, so I have the NARS Foundation. I have two-faced eyeshadow. NARS blush.
Is it? It's orgasm.
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 We're gonna always wearing orgasm.
Yeah.
I feel it, I wear it, I have it.
Francois Nels is very clever when he came up with that.
Very clever.
When I watch television, I can see if someone's wearing orgasm because it's got a very distinct sort of peachy orange goldness to it.
Yeah.
And you can see it on telly. It's
Yeah,
amazing.
yeah. It has that like glowy look. And then the NARS lip balm yeah.
Well, you look absolutely gorgeous and absolutely flawless.
Thank you so much.
But take me back to when you were younger. You grew up in Thailand and then you went to the States. Talk to me about who you looked up to. Who were the sort of beauty icons of the day for you?
Wow. When I was a kid, I mean, not gonna lie, not just because I'm in the UK, but like when I was a kid, it's Spice Girls.
Okay.
Yeah, I was like, the like you just walk in. I'm always like, I love looking at their makeup, their fashion, the way they carry themselves, like the way they always have so much fun. And I just remember like loving them. But particularly, I think the makeup, God, this is really hard. I would say Baby Spice.
Okay, so Baby Spice, you'd sort of feel that was if you identified with anybody.
Yeah. And then of course Britney Spears.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
but
you
then
like a lot of these innocent looking women.
sort of. I guess I like the no makeup before it was a thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I remember just like, oh, they look really like cute and sweet and try to mimic it on my face. But that's the struggle because when you're a woman of color or back then just a girl, you don't look the same as the people you look up to, right? Like they're a completely different ethnicity. So putting stuff on that looks good on them doesn't look good on me, and that can cause some issues.
It certainly can.
Yeah.
There's also, when I, as a makeup artist, putting makeup on people and they say, I want to look like that person. I'm like, well, you look completely different. So it's just bringing out what your special features are. And that's the key.
That's the magic of people who know how to do makeup really well, right? Because it's not just about mimicking someone. And for me, that's why I think representation is so important. Because as a kid, there was no, Asian pop star that I was like, oh my God, I want to look just like that, right? Like,
how old were you when you went from Thailand to the States?
Well, I actually went to Finland first for high school when I was 15. Yeah, and then I went to the States at 20, when I was 20.
So different cultures, from the Thai culture, which is very different, its beauty standards and what they consider beautiful, compared to kind of, what you probably experienced in Finland, but more importantly, probably in America.
Yeah, and now I work in the UK a lot. So I've lived around the world and have seen people preferring different things when it comes to beauty, as well as like body type, as well as how they approach nudity. So it's really, really interesting. When I was a young girl in Thailand, like everyone wanted to be pale. Have you heard of like the skin bleaching? Yeah. So the skin bleaching.
It's so funny.
Very common.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I remember, getting whitening lotion to like look whiter.
It's so dangerous as well because people kind of buy stuff online and it can be really damaging for your skin.
Oh yeah. And like they take supplements to look whiter, which is so interesting because then I went to Finland where everyone wanted to be tan.
Yeah.
And they go to tanning beds like once a week or once every 2 weeks to look tan. So I was like, why do you want to look tan? Your skin is porcelain. It's beautiful. They're like, here we don't love that.
It's so weird,
like,
isn't it?
Clammy. We want to look tan.
Why are people not happy with what they've got and embracing it? It's
Never. You have straight hair, you want your hair to be
Yeah.
curly.
Yeah.
You have curly hair, you want your hair to be straight.
You want to be more tan
Yeah.
than you actually are, or you want to be paler than you actually are. And it's just everyone's, evolving and changing. And how are you feeling about your sort of body or where you are now? With
Where I am now,
feeling.
I feel amazing. Where I am now, I feel amazing. Doesn't mean that there's fluctuations, right? I think that's the journey of being a woman and being bombarded by messages, whether it's conscious messages or subliminary messages about beauty every single day, right? Like on social media, on the billboard, in TV. So of course it affects me too, but I think at this moment in this era of my life, I feel amazing about the way I look, my skin, my hair, my body.
Well, you look absolutely gorgeous and you have a glow about you, which I love. So I'm going to work out how you've got to where you are now.
Yeah.
So you studied business at your first degree. Then you did something which is a little bit closer to what you did now.
Yes.
So then talk me through the sort of the journey of what you studied and how you kind of got to do what you do.
Yeah, so I have a bachelor's degree in business, and that's mainly because growing up with tiger parents that are also in business, tiger parents that are in business, they were like, oh, you go to business school and then you have a business. Like that's the only way this will work.
Yeah.
The only way to have freedom is to become an entrepreneur. So I was influenced by them. So that's why I went to get a bachelor's degree in business. But through business school, I've learned that the most interesting subject in business school was human behavior. And particularly, what's the most impactful thing that ever happens in anyone's life? It's related to love.
Yeah.
Everyone wants to be loved and wants to find love. And so for me, learning about human behavior, but particularly in the context of love and relationship, was the most interesting thing. And I only had one class. So I just thought, wow, like I want to pursue that. I want to know more about that. And that's why I went to pursue my master's in the United States as well, in human relationships and interpersonal communication, because that's really what makes human relationships is interpersonal communication.
And now you are a professor in California.
Yes.
And what is the area of your speciality?
Yeah, so in my PhD, which the PhD was 4 years and my master's was 2 years, so I spent 6 years just studying human communication in the context of relationships. I have studied everything. I have studied long distance relationships. I have studied unrequited love. I have studied jealousy. I have studied attachment styles and how that shows up in romantic relationships and dating. So I've studied everything. But out of everything that I have studied, the one universal problem that everyone in this world experiences at some point in their life, doesn't matter what ethnicity, race, cultural background, religion, or how much money they make, is a sex problem. At some point in your life, you will experience some sort of a sex issue. And so I was fascinated by that idea of like, whoa, becoming a solution to such a big universal problem. And that's why I started pursuing it.
It isn't talked about, and it's not something that is out there and obvious. It's like, should we talk about, you talk about someone's mental health, but in part of that, sex isn't always included.
100%. I talk about it all the time. Sexual wellness is a part of your overall wellness. Because imagine, if you have really good physical wellness, really good mental wellness, but your sex life is terrible, there's no way you're going to be able to like live your life fully in a most fulfilling way if your sex life isn't where you feel it should be. And there isn't an objective goal. Everyone is different. That's why sex is a very subjective experience. I can talk to a client who says, I want to have sex at least 4 times a week to feel satisfied and loved. And I can talk to someone that says, For me, it's about once a month, and I can feel satisfied and loved.
Mm.
Look at that discrepancy alone. That's a problem.
And it's also
right if you're dating.
And it's the shouldness as well.
Right.
It's that I should be having sex. I should be doing this. And sometimes it's good to sort of not be doing. And sometimes, there's no rules. And it's like by you doing what you're doing is allowing people to kind of just be themselves and what they want and was right for them, not what they sort of read in the papers. Like, did you know that this statistic of how many people have sex every week, month, God knows. I mean, we're always seeing statistics on that. And I don't know how they know. How they find these sort of...
It's self-report surveys. But, that's the most asked question. Whenever I show up at, either it's dinner parties or podcast or a Q&A on stage, the most asked question that I get is, how many times a week should I be having sex with my partner? The shoulds.
I do the shoulds. I think I'd love to get rid of the word should because I think we put too much pressure on ourselves. What is your answer to how many times we should be, or we could, or it would be advisable to have sex per week?
I'm going to give you two quick answers. I'm going to give you two quick answers. The first one, my answer is it's subjective.
Yeah.
Think about yourself. Like, how many times do you need to feel fulfilled and loved? But the second answer is a scientific answer based on very big research. And these researchers, the scientists, found that people who have sex with their spouse or their partner at least once a week are the happiest couples. Okay. So there you go. That's the science. At least once a week, these are the happiest couples, the most sexually satisfied.
And talk to me a bit more about when women are feeling sexy, and they feel attractive, they've got their makeup, they've got their, whatever their tan or their white, whatever they want to be doing. When you feel your appearance is good, how do you think that affects how people are in the bedroom and how they sort of attract and have that sort of aura around them to attract the opposite sex?
It actually, feeling good about the way you look is a huge contributor, a huge predictor of your own sexual satisfaction. I did research based on 5,000 people. So 5,000 people took my survey, and it was a really long survey. Thank you, everybody. And I found that your self-esteem is the biggest predictor of your own sexual satisfaction. And where does your self-esteem come from? A lot of it is body love. Do you have a good relationship with your body and your beauty in the way you look? Do you feel like you're an attractive person? Because if you don't feel like you're an attractive person and you often have negative self-talk about your own looks and the way your makeup, your hair, your body, then you have low self-esteem. And that's a huge predictor of dissatisfying sex life and just not feeling confident in bed. There is no confidence in bed without loving the way you look.
I think it's really challenging because I think we've all probably got our hang-ups on things that make us feel sexy. So I have quite small boobs and I don't feel as sexy as I probably would do if I had that kind of classic, larger boobs. Did you have?
But babe, you can always pay for them.
Well, exactly, because you had boobs done. Did that affect the before and after? So did you feel sexier in the bedroom when you'd had your boobs done?
Yes.
Did it make it made a difference?
Yes.
Yes.
I felt confident in bed before, but I felt even more confident after the breast augmentation. And I didn't even get like a huge CC. Like I got, I think, pretty reasonable size for my body type.
Yeah.
And it still was a boost for confidence, especially in bed, especially being naked. Because like when I'm naked, I'm like, yeah.
Yeah. Because I think that is that thing, looking in the mirror and going, I am a sexy creature.
Yeah.
And if you're not feeling that, but I think we judge ourselves so much on our appearance, it's really challenging to feel that sexiness if you don't look in the mirror.
I know. When I look in the mirror now, I'm like, oh my God, I have like the best breasts. Like I have.
I love that. That is so beautiful.
Yeah, I love my breasts. So thank you, doctor.
I know. Well, yes. No, it is a beautiful thing. And I think also with women, it's like having that confidence when you wake up in the morning. You can go out for dinner and you look a knockout. A lot of women, there's different types of look. Some women wear lots of makeup, some don't wear much, and you just feel your best. But the next morning you wake up and, the everyday with a partner and they're not got the makeup on, they haven't got their hair done, they're not wearing the sort of naughty, saucy underwear. What do you say to people about with their partner, how they navigate that?
You mean the
Not wearing makeup, being completely themselves, and how to feel comfortable. How do you navigate that feeling?
the best way is through positive self-talk. I do positive sexual affirmations every single morning. Every single morning, I look at myself in the mirror and I say 3 things. I said, I am beautiful, I am worthy, and I am sexy. People will tell me like, wow, you have so much energy. And like it rubs off on people, like not rubbing them, it rubs off on people. And they say like, they love it. They love that, leaving me or like after like having dinner or lunch or girls' drinks, they always feel like a little bit more confident, a little bit more saucy because I just say things like it is and I feel really good about myself.
Because I have tanned people over the years, the Amanda Harrington style tan, and they're naked, you're sort of putting tan on them. And so many women I've spoken to are like, I'm having my tan done because I'm going to go and have a bit of, I'm going away with a new boyfriend for the weekend, but I'm so self-conscious about my body. And I just talk to them and I just say, do you know, it's all about, even if you trick it, it's that how you move. So if you walk into the room and you're like, hello, me, and it's how your body actually comes in and you're feeling that love for yourself. That is one of the good tricks to do, to kind of trick yourself. Any other tricks that you could, like bedroom tricks to make yourself feel a bit more sexy?
Yeah, I actually flip my hair before I go into the bedroom. So I'll go to the bathroom, right? Like wash myself, and then I'll flip my hair. Hair is, I think you would agree, like hair is a big part of identity.
Yeah.
And that's why when people go through, health issues and they lose their hair, they get so self-conscious and insecure because hair is a big part of how we feel about ourselves. And especially when it comes to beauty, you can have a full face of makeup and feel really good about that. But if your hair isn't right, you don't feel right. So for me, it's about getting my like sex hair on, like, the bed head.
Yeah.
So I go to the bathroom, I flip my hair, and then I have this like Beyonce blowout. And I feel really good about my hair. And I think that contributes to me feeling really good in bed. I also do say positive affirmations before I go into bed as well.
Oh my gosh, I love these little tips because it's just these little things, because you can't sit and do like a 2-hour meditation going, I love myself. You've got to have those quick little sort of snappy things.
Sometimes like I'll feel my breast, I'll like look at my butt and I'll, you're sexy, baby. Go get it.
Because it is that energy thing. And I think all these tips and everything that you've learned and all the proper sort of studies, and it's not just you've kind of read a few, written a few books, read a few things, you really, really understand all this. So going on to the show, onto Celebs Go Dating, it's phenomenal hearing about how you talk about sex, and that is on E4. It's Monday to Thursday every week. It's the new show. It's absolutely brilliant. So the insightfulness you learn, and we don't see enough of you, because I think that what you give people is so important for their journey. Why are we not seeing enough of you on the show? I want to see more.
You will at some point, because every series there is sort of like this pivotal moment where we're allowed to talk more about sexuality and sex, and you'll see a lot of me in those arenas because it's not Anna's or Paul's expertise. So like last series, when Helen Flanagan and her boyfriend came in and I did a sexual compatibility test for them and talked through their sexual profiles, like what is their sex personality, and I talk about how they can become closer together in terms of their bedroom life and just intimacy in general. So that was a whole episode about like that sexual compatibility discussion.
And are they still together, those two? Were they sexually compatible?
Yeah.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah. One was kinkier than the other, but I talked about how they can sort of compromise and find middle ground. So yeah, I think there are moments where we get to talk about sexuality and being sexually confident. In this series, you'll see that I work with Christine and with the help of Louis a little bit on flirting. And
I've seen that. It's a beautiful moment.
Yeah, on flirting and just harnessing that like sexual energy and expressing it confidently. So I love it. I love that there are these moments and the tidbits that I get to share that's about feeling good about yourself and showing up confidently and in your sexual power, because that is a real thing. And when people say like, oh, you're so glowing, like you're so confident, it's all because I finally accept who I am as a sexual being, and I liberated myself. And with sexual liberation comes this confidence.
And I think that definitely comes across on the TV, and you've also got that lovely sort of the three of you, Paul and Anna. It's a wonderful kind of combination because you're really a great support to these brilliant characters. This season, the characters are absolutely hilarious, and there's all sorts of spicy mischief, naughtiness, and stuff going on.
Wait till Donna Preston comes in.
Okay,
very spicy.
I mean, I can't. I literally, I binged on all of them, and it is absolutely. It's such an interesting show, and it's like it's human behaviour at its best, and you guys are like these sort of like Attenboroughs watching and analysing what they're up to. Because on TV, do you find it harder to find? Because I think TV is very unforgiving. Do you find it difficult watching yourself on telly?
Yeah. Yes. And, just to be vulnerable here, earlier this year, actually, like just 2 weeks before I came here for filming, I was going through egg freezing. So I was injecting a lot of like estrogens, just a lot of hormones in my body. And through that process, it was a very emotional process. I gained like 10, 15 pounds. So when I first came here, and you'll see it through the series, because I have lost so much weight throughout the series. And this is, not something that I ever talk about. But the first, I would say 10 episodes, I was one weight. And then the last 10 episodes, I was another weight, because I had lost all the weight from my egg freezing process and all the hormones I injected, and to back to my normal weight. So in terms of confidence, and we talk about, do I feel confident now? Yes, now I do, because I've gone through that whole journey of really accepting my size and how I looked like at the moment, because I did something for myself for my future, right? Egg freezing just to make sure I have options to have children later, because now I'm a working woman and I don't have the time to try to get pregnant. So doing that was for my own future. And then coming here to film the TV show while I still had that weight on was a hard moment.
Thank you for sharing that, because that is a big thing to admit to that. Most people don't even start to talk about that, and it's such another thing that you're bringing out onto the table and airing and allowing it to be talked about. But I imagine that the emotional side of seeing yourself, I think when women are freezing eggs or going through IVF, what happens is, your body changes, you've got all these hormones, and then you're looking at yourself in the mirror and you're not feeling sexy. So that must be quite challenging for people. And I guess you've had people, you do your therapy sessions, which I love, in your professional life. And people must find that's a really challenging time, because it's a juxtaposition. You've got to have sex to have the children. If that's not working, you then got to make yourself not feel as potentially as attractive in order to procreate. How would you advise other people, and how did you sort of self-advise yourself on that?
During that time, I did a lot of grateful journaling of all the things I'm grateful for, and my body, how grateful I am for my body for going through all of this just for me, right? And even through all of that, injections and people going through IVF and stuff, like you still have to, go to work. You still have to go work out, like exercise, right? Because you have to stay healthy, just being really thankful for my body, for what she is and what she's doing for me, for her functions. That was the best practice. The best practice is reminding yourself to be so grateful for your body and all the things she does for you.
Because I think that's the funny thing. Something I saw someone did this brilliantly the other day. It's like a mobile phone case and then your mobile inside. It's like your phone is your body and your case is just the outside. So our facade. Our facade is useless unless you've got the inside bit. And when you start realizing what your body does, I think that's really powerful, and it can help a lot of people. And the journaling, I think, cements that thought.
Yes. I love that analogy, the phone case analogy.
Yeah, I've heard it somewhere.
Analogy. Yeah.
But it is.
But yeah.
It is that outside facade, but that outside facade can be hugely powerful. And but thank you for sharing that point about doing your egg freezing. Going on to something a bit more sort of saucy and cheeky, watching this season, you kind of see lots of like, there's lots of stuff stirring and you can tell there's all sorts of mischief that's going to come to play. Who do you find has got the sort of the best sexual energy in the show at the moment, and who do you think might need the most work?
Wow. In the show at the moment, um, you know, Louis.
He's the most self-assured man I think I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, I love that you said that. Yeah, I think Louis has this like Louis has this incredible charisma.
Yeah.
Like, the kids, like the Gen Zs, they say Riz. Have you heard of that?
No.
Rizz. It's like when someone has Riz, wow, like Riz her up. Like, you got mad Riz.
Okay.
It means they have incredible charisma. He has incredible, like, non-verbal charisma, meaning you walk into the room and you have people's attention. However, right, charisma needs to be backed up by actions and communication. And I think that's a huge lesson that he will need to learn, and he will be learning in the show. In terms of who needs to work on their sexual energy and charisma, I would say Mark Labette.
Okay.
But you'll see him working on it on the show, believe it or not.
Because I mean, I would love, the service you bring to people is so important. And I know that you do therapy. So I'm like, well, after this, I want to talk about how one can kind of get some therapy with you. So can people do things online? Can they find you and book appointments and come and have some sort of, sexual sort of advice?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. So I have a private practice in Los Angeles where I can see people in person, but I also have a private practice online where I see clients on Zoom. I actually have clients around the world. I have clients in the UK. I have clients in Singapore, in Dubai. So yeah, you can go to my website and find my information.
I'm personally very curious because I'm like, I've got some questions.
Yeah.
Because no one's perfect when it comes to the bedroom.
Of course.
And another question I'm dying to ask you is the most surprising thing women would find or would want to know that men are actually thinking when they're in the bedroom with them that we just don't have a clue about.
Wow. So, okay. I think a lot of women underestimate the power of talking during sex. It's a huge turn on. There are studies that show that dirty talk increases sexual satisfaction and arousal during the sexual encounter, during intercourse. So I encourage women around the world to learn more about dirty talk and practice dirty talk before they go in bed with their partner or a new person, and try to drop some gems, saying some dirt. And it doesn't even have to be derogatory. Like, it can just be like, do you want me? Saying it during sex, it will blow their mind. Dirty talk, it adds a lot to the arousal of both people, for her and for the man. And once he hears that, he'll get a green light of like, oh wow, okay, this is what we're doing. He'll respond, usually 99.9% of the time, positively, and he'll respond with more dirty talk. And it just makes that sexual encounter like so much hotter.
Dr. Tara, I literally could stay here all day chatting. I absolutely love it. And I am loving you on the show. E4, Monday to Thursday. It is the sauciest, cheekiest, funnest show. I'm absolutely adoring it. A massive thank you to Dr. Tara. You can watch it on Celebs Go Dating, Monday to Thursday, each week, 9 p.m. on E4. That's it for True Reflections this week. If you enjoyed today's spicy episode, please subscribe wherever you're watching or listening. You can find me across your social media by searching at True Reflections Podcast. You can also explore my Skin and Motion cosmetics range to help boost your confidence at skin.in.motion. I'll be back next week with another celebrity to talk through their beauty experiences, their favourite products, and delve deeper into how the ideals of beauty shapes not just our physical appearance, but the core of our identities. Until then, have a lovely week.